49ers held the door open for the Seahawks to get back in this game. It really did look like, are they going to blow a 20-point lead tonight? Is that what they're going to do? But it didn't happen. Up until then, it felt like if you give the 49ers 97 yards, they're going to give you 3 points. If you give the 49ers 18 yards, they're going to give you 3 points. Like, no matter what you put in front of the 49ers, they're going to give you 3 points. In that first half, there was red zone dread. They got to the Seattle 17, had to settle for 3. They got to the Seattle 23, had to settle for 3. They got to the Seattle 7, they had to settle for 3. You look at their possessions in the second half. For a minute there, it really wasn't going much better. I mean, the second half possessions became pretty annoying, if you don't mind me saying. After halftime, the 49ers come out with a 9-play, 70-yard touchdown drive, and again, everyone starts breathing easy. They then give up the returned touchdown. And then 4 plays, 19 yards and a punt. 3 plays, 7 yards and a punt. That was the one that was reviewed. After that, it was 6 plays for 48 yards and a punt. That at least one was downed inside the 5-yard line. That was nice. And then you saw the green interception, and that gave the Niners really good field position. 3 plays, 15-yard, a touchdown to Kittle. Then the 2-point conversion fails. And if you think about it, like the 2-point conversion, kind of, it's a goal to go. I know it's not technically. It's a 2-point conversion. It's not measured as an and goal play, but that is and goal distance. And the 49ers went 0 for 2 on that. The 2-point conversion didn't happen on consecutive plays. So they're very happy to have won for a 6th time in a row because they will now be back in a first-place situation in the NFC West, which is a lot better than being 0-3 in the division and 0-4 in the conference. This is exactly what the 49ers needed. And up next, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not playing the look-ahead game right now, but you go ahead and you beat the Kansas City Chiefs. No one's going to be looking at the 49ers in any light other than what they might still be able to do, and they have spent way too much time in the shadow of what's going wrong so far this year. They've deserved it. They've cast their own shadow. The 49ers, throughout all of their frustrations this year, feel like they've done more to defeat themselves as their opponent actually does. This was a good game considering what we saw pregame scratches looked like. No Mooney Ward in this game meant DK Metcalf was going to go bonkers, right? Didn't really happen. I thought Diamador Lenore did a hell of a job. I thought that Renardo Green did a hell of a job. And unfortunately, Malik Mustafa gets hurt in this game after he did the 49ers a huge solid by stopping the first drive of the game with an interception right on the 3-yard line. And the 49ers again turned a 10-play, 97-yard drive into 3 points. The 49ers will turn a 10-play, 13-yard drive into 3 points. They will start with the ball on the 1-yard line and turn that into 3 points. At least that's how it felt at times. Luckily, a couple of red zone scores. When we were talking about what a problem the red zone has been over the last few weeks and over the handful of losses, it's been really, really a bad problem. It was illustrated very well in this broadcast tonight, how much of a problem that it was. But Purdy finishes with 3 touchdowns, 255 passing yards. You look at what the 49ers did as a team tonight. Guerrero, oh man, if he fell forward another yard, he would have gotten his first 100-yard day, a long of 76 for Guerrero. Mason was just the man when he was healthy enough to be in there, getting 8.1 yards per play. 6.9 yards per run is why the 49ers were able to close this one out when it was all said and done. That and obviously the huge green interception in this game. Receiving-wise, very small, quiet game for Brandon Ayuk. Only 2 catches for 37 yards. Only 3 catches, but a monster that tallied 76 yards for a touchdown to Deebo Samuel, giving him a century mark night. He finishes with 102. 5 catches, 2 touchdowns for Kittle. He is the only weapon that the 49ers seemingly have in the red zone. He's the only one who really presents himself as an open target in this red zone. Maybe this is where Ricky Pearsall will start paying some dividend. Again, when you're looking to do something different in the red zone, maybe the different guy, even if he is a rookie showing up, makes the difference. But it is staggering how often this team falls and fails in the red zone. Tatum Bethune, he recovered a fumble tonight. That was big. Fred Warner all over the field, as he always is. 11 tackles. There were some momentum plays in this game, and I write them down, and then it turns out, it gets lost in the sauce of the game, and how much of a momentum play it really was is to be debated. But I thought that Fred Warner made a tackle on a really well set up screen at the start of the second quarter. He forced a punt when the score was still 3-0. It was just a 3-0 game, and Fred Warner forced a punt, just being all over a screenplay that I wrote down. I'm like, that was a big play by Fred Warner right there. Another big play. And that's what the 49ers did. Opening drive, though, of the second half, coming out of the locker room, Kyle's got all of his ducks in a row, and the 49ers go on a 9-play, 70-yard drive that ends with, are you sitting down? A red zone touchdown, a 10-yard touchdown pass to the corner of the end zone from Purdy to Kittle. It was a beautiful play. It was a beautiful catch, beautiful foot control. Just really, Kittle's been awesome in small sample sizes this year. We don't see an awful lot of Kittle, but when we do, he's usually coming down with a football in the end zone with a catch that more than once this year has been pretty great catch in the end zone. It's 23-3, and with the gravity of this game, there's no way the 49ers are going to blow it. And as I was putting the period on the end of it in the word blow it, just the second returned kickoff for a touchdown, and it happened against the 49ers on a night where the Seahawks could not get anything going. And what do you know? It put a little bounce in the entire team's step, didn't it? Because it went from 23-3 to 23-10, and then another Seattle touchdown made this a 6-point game. Right until Renardo Green swooped in front of DK Metcalf, saved the day that way, and then Isaac Guerendo, run, young man, run. The 49ers didn't need to win pretty. The 49ers didn't need to convince you that Nick Sorensen is the right guy for the job. The anxiety running through the 49er faithful, none of that really needed to happen. They just needed to win. And they got the win that they needed. They needed that one bad. I mean, when we're seriously looking at the handful of incredibly important regular season games that have come across Kyle Season's plate now in his 8th regular season as this team's head coach, this was like as big of a regular season game as he's really had on his plate. And the truth is, now by winning it, the next biggest regular season game that you could possibly put on his plate is the game that comes up after that. And then after the Kansas City Chiefs, it's the world of hype that always surrounds the Dallas Cowboys. Beating the Dallas Cowboys on a standalone Sunday night is going to have the full attention of the entire football world if the 49ers are able to do that. And if they're on a 3-game winning streak going into their bye, everybody's going to be talking about them as NFC Super Bowl favorites. And remember who you were if you were using trash can emojis just a week or two ago. The truth is, the 49ers have a still pretty spectacular offense, given all of its mistakes, given all of its incompletes. It's a spectacular offense that, if it does anything other than stall in the red zone, will lead this team to 12 wins still this year. Damon, what's the lesson? What is the theme? What did we learn tonight? We learned that if you up royally on special teams, you can put a pretty good football team in an awful lot of trouble that it could otherwise not be in. There's an awful lot to still work on. Quit making special teams mistakes with the same special teams coach who clearly is just not very good at his job anymore. I would make a change. I've been saying that for 4 weeks. I will say that every week. I'll say it on a week where they don't make a special teams mistake. I think they got the wrong guy for the job. You know, how many bad results do you need to see in a row before you're just galactically unimpressed? I hope Matthew Wright isn't hurt. I feel really good with Matthew Wright stepping into that situation, performing like he did, And man, I mean, what more do you need? Debo did look like he was shaking one off, and you think, uh-oh, is that a stinger? What is that? Because his neck just got pulled around. That looked a little worrisome. And look, it's really easy to say, well, Kyle, I thought you're an offensive genius. How come you're not dialing up easy play after easy play here? And, I'm not saying that criticism is unfounded. I agree. It should look a little easier than the 49ers have seemed to have made it for them this year.
Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.